Hello, welcome to today's practice. My name is Irene Doherty, and we'll be having a practice today of earth. This is a grounding practice. So take the next few minutes to get what you need: cushions, blankets, straps, maybe a chair, blocks, and come to find your seat. Whether that seat be in the chair or on the floor on a cushion, have some water or some tea with you. And we'll just take the next few moments to gather ourselves. And once you do find your seat, start to tune into the vibration of the Shruti, allowing yourself to calm and settle into your practice. Again, welcome. Welcome to practice today. Today's practice is about the element of earth, leaning into earth, grounding into earth. Earth is the place where we can feel the peace that comes from the letting go. So as soon as we let something go, a very peaceful vibration enters into that space. And that's how we know we're in the earth element, if we're experiencing the earth element. And when we accept what we actually can control and what we cannot, and release trying to control the things that we cannot, we can then ground into earth. And we hear this term grounding a lot in yoga, a lot in polarity therapy. And this grounding that we're talking about is like a plug-in to the earth. We literally plug our ultrasonic core, Sushumna, into the earth. And when we make that connection, when we plug in, we light up. And with that light, we can very clearly see our own center. And it's that time, it's from that vibration of earth when we can see our center, and then we can stand plugged in and rooted into our center. That's when we're going to show up to life in a way that's really serving, not just to ourselves, but to the greater society. We want to control the people around us. We want to control their behavior, what they do. We want to control their point of view and their perspective. But once we realize we can't do that, and we let that go, we release that trying, you have entered into the realm of earth frequency. And that is peaceful, that is grounding, that is solid and strong. So we'll keep those energies alive and see how we're relating to them as we move our body and breath in practice. Adjusting your seat if you need to. Moving the muscles of the glutes out from behind. If you're sitting in a chair, sit in a way that your feet are really flat on the earth. Let the hands come to settle in the legs, not too far forward, that'll pull the shoulders forward, and not too far back, that'll pull the shoulders to back. So we can just let the arms drop at the side, sit up tall through the spine, and then we're just gonna move our elbow, let the hand slide onto the leg. So this way the upper arm bone is nicely hanging from the joint. If it feels good for you to close the eyes, then go ahead and do that. If it feels good to keep the eyes open, then gaze down the tip of the nose, looking through the eyelashes. Tune into yourself and become aware of your physical body. Feel your body sitting on the earth. Become aware of all the meeting points between the body and the earth, the floor, and our props beneath our seat. Become aware of gravity. Really become aware of gravity in the lower body, from the pelvis down, the hips, the legs, and into the feet. And allow gravity to work on these parts of the body. When we allow gravity to work on these parts of the body, that's when we can get that plug-in. Plugging our ultrasonic core right at the tailbone, the very base of our spines. And you can even visualize this in any way that makes sense for you. There's no way to do this right. There's no way to do this wrong. It's simply a matter of focusing our attention in this way or focusing our attention in another way. But we've consciously come to a yoga practice today. And with that consciousness comes this intention to bring our awareness back into our body, back into what we're doing, back into what we're experiencing as a result of what we're doing. Guide the mind down into the lower body. Feel yourself plug into the earth. And the beautiful thing about this plug is that once we do start moving, the plug remains intact. It doesn't matter how high we lift our bodies up away from the earth, we are always connected. Become aware of your whole body. Whole body. Become aware that your body is breathing. Notice where the breath shows up in the most obvious way for you, and let your mind settle there for a moment. Not doing anything to control the breath, allowing it to be spontaneous, free-form breathing. Awareness of body, awareness of breath. Now bringing our palms together into Anjali Mudra, palm to palm, fingers to fingers, thumbs connecting to the heart center, the center of the sternum, the chest. Lifting our hearts, bow the head down. Take a moment and mentally, energetically acknowledge our collective intention for this practice. To connect ourselves to earth, to accept the things that we can and cannot control. And through the releasing of the things that we cannot control, the releasing of the trying, of the wanting. Release that and let yourself plug into earth. Let yourself experience that vibration of peace. And now, holding in your heart center and your mind's eye the source of these practices, the yogis and sages who listen for these teachings, who carry these teachings through thousands of years so that we all can benefit from them. May these sacred South Asian practices guide us each back to our own center, to our own roots, to our ancestors, and all the medicine that is waiting there for us. Take a deep breath in, fill the lungs up. Let the head lift towards the sky a bit. You can blink the eyes open if they were closed. Open the mouth and let it go. Bring the head back to center. With the next inhale, reach those palms straight up towards the sky. Lift the heart, lift the gaze while the lower body remains grounded. Wiggle a little bit in the rib cage. Get a little more space in the side body. One more big inhale, lifting. Exhale, take that left hand down and reach the right arm over. Side body stretch. Gaze towards the floor and then tuck the chin in towards that left collarbone. Actively root down through the right hip. Big inhale, fill up right side body. Exhale, hug the navel center into the spine, empty the lungs completely. One more big inhale. Let that inhale stretch you, and then exhale. Engage the torso to empty the lungs. With that navel center hugging into the spine, inhale back up to center. Exhale, draw the palms back to heart. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale. Again, reach those arms up towards the sky. And if your shoulders do need a little more space, then give your body the space it needs. Listen to how your body is communicating. Inhale, lift up through the rib cage. Exhale, right arm grounds down to the earth, reaching over, side body stretch. Turn the head towards the floor and tuck the chin into that right collarbone. Actively Ground down through this left hip. Take a big inhale, fill yourself up. And exhale, empty. Reach as the navel center hugs in strong. One more big breath in. Let that inhale stretch you. And exhale, actively empty. With navel center still engaged, inhale back up to center. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. We're going to shift ourselves into a child's pose now. So you might want some props for this child's pose to give your joints a little more space. If you're on a hard floor, you might want to take a blanket and place that down underneath your shins. You might also want to place a blanket behind the knees. Let the big toes come to touch. Actually, I'm going to turn myself around. I think that'll be easier for your viewing. Bring the big toes to touch behind you. Open the knees up nice and wide, and then sit the hips back towards the heels. Before you lower down, take a really big inhale and lift through the front of the body. Keep that lift as we start to come down. Now you can absolutely make this more restorative by placing a bolster, a rolled up blanket, or pillow underneath the chest. If you do that, then their arms will stay in cactus and you'll turn your head to one side. If you're not using props, extend those arms towards the front of the mat and allow the forehead to rest down either on a prop or the floor. Whatever keeps the neck in line with the rest of the spine instead of folding our neck down, tucking the chin. And let your elbows rest, let your arms rest. Come to the most restful child's pose you can in this moment. And start to tune into your breath. As you inhale, let yourself fill up your belly, your rib cage, and then fill up all the way to the tops of the shoulders, your collarbones. And then exhale, empty the shoulders, the rib cage, and the belly, actively hugging the navel center up to the spine. Inhale, fill belly, rib cage, shoulders. Exhale, shoulders, rib cage, belly. Keep going with that rhythm for a few more rounds. Exploring the fullness and the vastness of your breath. Let's take one more full round, really feeling how the breath moves into the back body as well as the front. And then a cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let yourself settle. Let gravity work on the hips, on the legs. And then drawing the navel center up towards the spine, we'll bring our hands underneath our shoulders and slowly lift ourselves up. If you did have a prop with you underneath you, go ahead and move that off to the side. We're going to reach our arms towards the front of our mat. Place the elbows down, and we're going to slide through for a cobra. Hands right next to the chest. Toenails connected to the earth. Spread the toes. Draw elbows towards each other and then reach them down towards the hips. As we inhale, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Take the hands and bring them by the sides, palms facing up. With our next inhale, locust. Lift everything up off the floor, the legs, the arms, the chest. Roll the front of the arm bones back to engage the shoulder blades. Take a big breath in. And exhale, lower. Now we're going to stack our palms for the forehead to rest on. And if it feels comfortable in your body, we're going to pick the legs up and turn the toes out towards the sides. So we're resting more on the inner knee and the inner edge of the foot. We're going to rest here for a few moments. Come back into that full yogic breath. Inhale, fill up belly, rib cage, shoulders. And exhale, shoulders, rib cage, belly. Continue to track the breath with your mind. So the breath is the one thing we can control. And it's not that we want to be controlling our breath in every moment, but we practice it here on our mats, within our asana, our energy exercises, so that when we're out there in the world, away from that peaceful vibration of earth, away from our own center, we can remember our breath. And if we can remember our breath, then we can take a deep, controlled breath in that moment. And that's all it takes to plug our ultrasonic core, Sushumna, into the earth. One breath. But that takes practice. Practice and constant refinement. Let everything go into the earth. Let all that control of others, of circumstances, let the emotions all move towards the front of your body and seep down into the earth. Release them. In return, the earth will give you peace. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Bring the hands once again by the shoulders. Adjust the legs, pick each leg up one at a time. Turn them back forward so the toenails are on the earth, forehead on the earth. Take an inhale and lift the heart center for a cobra. Root that pubic bone down into the floor so that the tailbone is lengthening towards the feet. Another inhale and exhale, lower the forehead down. Take the arms back by the side body again, palms up. With our next inhale, lift everything up. Spread those toes. And then roll the front of those arm bones back so the shoulder blades engage. One more big inhale. And exhale, release. Bring the hands next to the chest. Pull the belly back to the spine. Lead with the hips. We're going to stretch ourselves into a child's pose. Take a deep breath here. And then lifting the belly to the spine, come up into tabletop position. Ground down through the palms, tuck the toes, and lift the hips for downward facing dog. Step the feet a little closer, and you can really play with this. I find that stepping my feet a little closer can soften some of the pressure in the shoulders. So if you're working with shoulder stuff, maybe you want to try that. Maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't. But you can adjust in ways and see how that feels. How does that change? If I walk my feet back further from my hands, how does it change the sensation? How does it change what I experience in this downward facing dog? If I take my feet wider and my hands wider, how does that change my experience? Brings up new sensations. Maybe some comfortable, maybe some uncomfortable.
Regardless of what kind of sensations it brings up, can we keep our breath going? And then settle into 3 more breaths in downward dog. Find your hand placement, find your foot placement. 2 more deep breaths. Last one. Now we're gonna lift our right leg up into the air, 3-legged dog. Keep the knees nice and lengthened. Notice how we kind of shift into that left hand a little bit. Can we keep just as much energy through the right arm and shoulder? And then we're gonna bend that knee and we're gonna bring that leg forward for a low lunge. Let's take our back knee down for a moment. Bring the hands onto that right leg and press into the leg to lift up in the torso. Roll the shoulders back and really get engaged through this right heel, the front heel. Back toes can be tucked or they can go flat. It's whatever works best for your knee. Lift up through the front of the body. Take a big inhale and exhale, empty. 1 more big breath in. And exhale, we're going to bring the hands down to the floor, frame the front foot, tuck the back toes if they're not already, and lengthen that leg. Stretch and lift through the back of the knee, reaching the heart forward. Rock a little bit on the ball mound of that back foot, bringing some different sensations into the calf muscles, the Achilles tendon, the sole of the foot. 1 more breath here. And then we're going to start to walk our hands around to the left. So we come into this kind of side lunge gate pose variation. So we're going to track our knee over the heel. So a lot of times the leg will fall in. So really engage that outer thigh and then walk the hands to a point where the torso is coming straight out from the hip. So the torso is in a neutral position. Reach through the pinky edge of this left foot. Inhale, lengthen the heart center forward. And exhale, lengthen the tailbone back. Inhale, reach heart forward. And exhale, reach tailbone back. Take 1 more deep breath here. We're going to slowly walk ourselves back around into our low lunge. Plant the hands. Bring the left knee down. Step the right knee back to meet it. We're in our tabletop position. Toes tucked. Lift the tailbone. Reach the heart center forward as the shoulders hug to the hips. Exhale, flatten the feet. Scooping the body up. Let the head relax. Moving our spine through cat-cows. Letting the breath initiate the movement. Go nice and slow. The frequency of peace is a slower frequency. The frequency of earth is slower in general than the other elements. I say in general because everything has a polarity. Everything has opposites, extreme opposites, and then a third pole that lets those opposites be reconciled. So we're moving slow today to connect into the frequency of peace and earth. Keep the toes tucked as you take your next exhale into cat pose. Remain in cat pose and really pull navel center to spine. Let that lift you back into downward facing dog. So this way we keep a little bit of cat shape in our upper back, the space between the shoulder blades. And now adjust your feet, adjust your hands to that most comfortable or most exciting downward facing dog that you want to experience right now. Lift the tailbone up towards the sky as gravity takes the crown of the head towards the earth. One more deep breath here. We're going to lift the left leg up now. Keep the knee straight as you lift the leg. Notice how we shift in our arms, and can we shift a little more so we're energizing equally through the arms. Then we'll bend our knee, bring that knee forward between the hands. We're in a low lunge. Lengthen that back knee and lift the heart center. We'll take this right knee down to the earth, and you can step it in a little bit more for balance as well. Take the hands to that left thigh and press into the thigh to lift the chest, lifting through the front of the body. Breathing. Allowing the shoulders and the jaw to soften, really engage through the feet, engage through the heel of this front foot, engage through the toes of the back foot. One more big inhale, lift tall through the torso. And as we exhale, we'll bring the hands back down. Tuck the toes, and again, lift the knee for that low lunge. I'm going to turn myself around. Lift that back knee for the low lunge, and then slowly start to walk your hands around to the right. Turn your feet as you go. The left toes are going to stay on an angle. We're in this side lunge, this variation of gate pose. Now the knee's going to a lot of times fall in, so it's a lot of effort and energy in the outer thigh and leg to roll that knee out so we stand in our heel. Torso comes out from the hips, and we're reaching through the pinky edge of that right foot. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward. Exhale, lengthen the tailbone back. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward. Exhale, lengthen the tailbone back. And one more deep breath here. And then we'll slowly start to walk ourselves back into our low lunge. Lifting through that back knee, reaching the heart forward, and rocking a little bit on the ball mound of the foot. Feeling sensation in the calf muscle, the Achilles tendon, and the foot. And then stilling that, take one more deep breath here. And then we'll bring that right knee down first, and then take the left knee back to meet it. We're in our tabletop position. Tuck the toes, inhale, lift the heart, lift the tail. Exhale, flatten the feet, scoop up into cat. Tucking the toes, inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, flatten the feet, lift and lengthen. And a few more of these. Full yogic breath if we can. Right, and that full yogic breath as we fill up from the bottom to the top, we can really let that roll through the spine. So that on the inhale, the tailbone starts and the head is the last part to move. I'll take one more round. And the next time you go into your cat pose, keep the toes tucked. So we're rounding our spine, lifting through the back body, letting the crown of the head reach towards the earth with gravity. Pull the belly up tight to the spine, and then lift the hips, downward facing dog. Find your feet, find your hands in whatever spacing and position feels best for this downward facing dog. And best doesn't mean feels like the least sensation, but instead feels like the most workable place, the most breathable place. And one more full breath. And then we'll bend our knees, look between the hands and step or hop yourself to the front of your mat. Ragdoll. Have the feet open a little wider than the hips. Hook the elbows and slowly rock from side to side. Rock back on the heels. Rock forward on the ball mounds of the feet. Find whatever movement in this ragdoll position feels good for you in this moment. And then still the movements, we'll release our hands, heel toe the feet in a little bit more maybe so they're underneath the hips. We're going to inhale, come into a half lift. Let the hands slide up the shins of the legs, however high they need to, in order to get a long spine. So coming out of cat. A lot of times we'll lift and we'll lift the chin, but the spine stays in cat. So you want to iron that out. Inhale, lengthen crown of the head forward. Exhale, lengthen tailbone back. And one more big breath in. Exhale, wrap the hands to the calf muscles and fold. Hug the arms into the legs. So we're using the arms to assist the belly folding to the thighs. Let the head go with gravity, but not the shoulders. Upper back is gently engaged. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Keep exhaling. Empty yourself completely. When you think you're empty, exhale a little bit more. Inhale, half lift. Take that right arm and cross it over to the left leg with a deep bend in the right knee. We're going to twist ourselves open. You can keep the hand on the rib cage to help you twist. You can extend the arm back towards the tailbone, or maybe there's the movement in your shoulder to bring the arm up. But we want to make sure that we're not trying to twist in the shoulder, but we're actually twisting in the rib cage. Deep breath in, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist a little bit more. You might be gazing towards the floor. You might be gazing towards your hand. One more big inhale. With this exhale, release. Inhale, half lift in the torso. Left hand across to right leg now. Deep bend in that left knee as we twist ourselves open. Either keeping our hand on the front of that right rib cage, extend the arm back towards the hip, or extend the arm up towards the sky. But find the movement in the rib cage, not in the shoulder joint. And then find your head, gaze towards the floor, gaze towards that hand, that right hand. Inhale, lengthen the rib cage forward. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Big full breath. And take another inhale. And exhale, release. Again into ragdoll. So open the feet a little wider, and maybe you want to let the arms hang and sway this time. Maybe you want to interlace the hands at the base of the skull and gently hug the forearms into the temple area. Give our neck a little traction, a little extra stretch. Breathing with whatever it is that you're doing in this ragdoll, whether there's movement or stillness. And if you have your arms in any position other than hanging, release them. Heel toe the feet out a little wider, point the toes out. You might grab onto a block. You might even use a piece of furniture that you've got and lower the hips for a malasana. And then press into the heels and come back into that forward fold. As we inhale, lower into malasana. And how low you go is completely up to your body. And your mind's willing to work with your body as opposed to trying to force it into what you think the posture should look like or what it might look like for other people. Right, that's definitely going to keep us unplugged from earth. Trying to make our asana postures look like other people's definitely keeps us unplugged. Let's take one more of these flows. Inhaling into a malasana. And exhaling into a forward fold. Heel toe the feet in so you can feel your heels really connected to the earth. Let yourself hang and then pull the navel center so strongly up to the spine that you start to roll up. Continue lifting the front of the body to the spine until you're all the way up. So this rolling up comes from the strength of the front body. Head rests on top of the spine. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Walk in place a little bit just to find your footing. We're going to come into some one-legged balancing now. Finding your gaze, finding your feet, finding your gaze, and depending upon what kind of room you're in, you might have a wall or a piece of furniture handy to support, to be a prop for this posture. So we're going to take a standing half squat. Roll the shoulders back. Once you've got your feet plugged into the earth, set your gaze. Gaze somewhere at something that's not moving, maybe something down towards the earth. That can be down towards the floor. That can be a little more grounding at times. We're going to shift into our right leg and peel the left heel up. And then reaching our arms down, we're going to lift the left leg up and take a hold of the shin. And this might be the perfect place for us. You know, this, if you have a chair too, these toes right here, could even do a little dance with a chair. And then we'll see if we can hook, bring it in a little tighter, this is deeper for the hip. Whoop. So if you fall out, it's not really a fall out. It's just a training in balance. Bringing it into the crease of the elbow and coming up into a squat. So then the thigh and the leg move off to the side. And then activate that left foot, spread the toes, and really activate the standing leg. Keep the eyes steady. Keep the breath moving and flowing. Take one more deep breath in. And with the exhale, we'll slowly lower the leg down. Take a moment and stand in Tadasana. Roll the arms so the palms face forward and feel both feet connected to the earth. If it feels good to close the eyes, you can do that, or gaze down the nose. Feel both feet plugged into the earth. Feel how that lights up your whole body. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Float the eyes open if they're closed, and we'll start to shift into the left leg. Peel that right heel up, and we'll bring the leg up. We might be interlacing around the shin and holding here. We might have these toes resting on a chair or some other piece of furniture to help us with stability. This is simply a practice in balance. Right? If this right leg touches the ground before we're done, then that's okay. We just had a little visit from some deer medicine. A nice big buck just walked past my window. We may be bringing this right leg into
a deeper squat, moving the thigh and the leg off to the right side of the body, hooking into the elbow crease, and then using that left hand to help stabilize. Flex the foot, spread the toes wherever your leg is. Do this with the foot. And then really plug in with this standing leg and lift. Let that plug in, that movement down, lift us up in the leg. Whatever's going on for you, whether that right leg is dancing with the earth, can we keep the breath moving? Can we keep space in this posture, in this practice for the breath? Add one more big breath in. And as we exhale, slowly lower that right leg. Once again, come to Tadasana. Stand in both feet, palms facing forward. Eyes resting. Plugging into the earth. Feel yourself. The sensations that feel physical, the sensations that feel energetic, the emotions, the speed of the mind. Feel it all. But while you feel your whole self, remain plugged in through the feet. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. With an inhale, sweep the arms forward. Lift the arms up. And as we exhale, forward folding. Inhale, half lift in the torso. Lengthen the spine. Flatten the feet, flatten the hands, and step the left foot back, low lunge. Inhale here. And then we're going to lean into the right arm, lean into the left arm, reach the right arm forward. And with our next inhale, start to sweep the arm up and back, twisting. Exhale, bring the arm down and around. Inhale up. Exhale, wind the arm towards the earth and forward. Good, one more. Inhale up. And this back knee can always touch the earth too. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back into downward facing dog. Take one deep breath here. And then release the knees to the earth. Keep the toes tucked. Come to stand up on the knees. Bring the hands, camel pose. Bring the hands to the hips, to the pelvis. So not the low back is all the way up here. So bring the hands down onto the pelvis and guide the tailbone down towards the floor and press the hips forward. Just let that be the camel. Press the hips forward. Roll the front of the shoulders back, engaging the shoulder blades. Start to track your gaze up the wall in front of you to maybe where the wall meets the ceiling. Keep pressing toes. Exhale, empty. One more big breath in. Flatten the feet. Exhale into child's pose. Full child's pose. So the knees stay closer together and the arms are now lengthened down by the side of the legs. Adjust any props that you need. Cushion under the shins. Lift between the calf muscles and the hamstrings, back of the legs. Something to support under the forehead. Come back to your full yogic breathing. Filling yourself up from the bottom to the top and emptying from the top to the bottom. One more full yogic breath.
And then we'll stretch our arms towards the front of our mat. Lift the belly up. Pass through tabletop into downward facing dog. We're going to inhale that left leg up, three-legged dog, and then step it through low lunge. With our next inhale, lift up into a standing split. So we forward fold with this left leg and the arms and torso, and this right leg is extending up towards the sky. Lengthen through the knees and spread those toes. Let the head relax. Take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, let that right foot meet the left. Inhale, half lift in the torso. Exhale, we fold, hands to calf muscles. Stand firmly through the heels. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Gaze down the nose. Take a deep breath in. And release. Inhale, reach arms forward and up. Exhale, we fold. Stepping the right foot back now. Coming into our low lunge. Back knee can remain up, it can come down. We'll ground through that right hand and reach the left arm forward. Now, as we inhale, start to twist the torso open to the left, reaching the arm up. And as the arm winds down towards the earth, exhale. And inhale, lift up. And exhale, wind down. Good, one more. Inhale. And exhale. Releasing that hand down to the earth. Step back into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. And then the knees come down to the earth. Standing up on the thighs. This time we're going to interlace the hands behind the back. This is a good time for a strap to come in handy as well. As we're opening up our shoulders and giving them more space, you might hold on to a strap behind you. Now our hands aren't on the hips anymore, but we still have to activate them. Press the hips forward. Engage the shoulder blades to the spine. Let the eyes meet where the floor and the wall meet. And then track that gaze up. Maybe to where the wall and the ceiling meet. Inhale, filling up. Exhale, empty. And one more big inhale. Flatten the feet if they're not. And with the exhale, settle back into that child's pose. Adjusting your props in any way. And settling in. Come back into full yogic breathing. Allowing the breath to flow up from the belly to the shoulders. And allowing the breath to flow down from the shoulders to the belly. Feeling this breath not just in the front body, but also in the back, maybe even the side of the torso. Take one more full breath here. And then we'll stretch our arms towards the front of our mat. We'll use the belly and the strength of the hips to lift up through tabletop and into downward facing dog. Take a breath here in down dog. And then with an inhale, we'll lift the right leg up and we'll bring it forward, placing it between the hands, coming into our low lunge. Lift the back knee, extend through the heart center, and then rocking on the back of the foot, lift up for our standing split. Rooting down and lengthening through the right leg as we lift the left leg up. Spread those left toes. Take one more inhale, lift, and exhale, left foot meets the right, forward folding. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the torso. Exhale, fold again. Root through the heels, inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, reach those arms forward and up. And step the feet out a little bit. We're going to come back down into our malasana. Turn the toes out. As we exhale, bring the hands to heart center as we come to sit down. Now you might be sitting on a prop. You might be sitting up on something little, something high. Take the feet a little wider, and there might even be a blanket underneath the heels, right? If we're dancing on our tippy toes, then fill in that gap between the heel and the earth so that we can use our whole foot. Elbows press into the inner thighs. Inhale, lifting our heart center. Gaze down the tip of the nose. One more deep breath in. And out. And then releasing our hands behind us, we'll come to take a seat. Paschimottanasana, stretch the legs out in front. Move the muscles of the glutes out of the way. And it might also be helpful to sit up on a little bit of a blanket. Extend through the legs, reach through the heels. Inhale, take the arms up towards the sky, and then exhale and bring them down to the floor right next to the hips, fingers point forward. Press into the heels of the hand to lift the rib cage, roll the shoulders back and down. So there might be a little bit of a bend in the elbows, Dandasana. Spread those toes, take one more breath in. And then as we exhale, start to walk the hands towards the feet. Now straps, again, belts can be really handy here. We can hook around the ball mound of the foot and we can pull on the strap and get that long spine. Maybe we can reach our feet and we can pull on the feet to get that long spine. Lift the front torso, head exhale, fold. So let there be a little bit of rounding happening here. Not trying too hard in this Paschimottanasana, in this forward fold, but do plug the back of the thighs down into the earth. Plug the back of the knees down towards the earth. And that's a good place to lengthen from. So even though we're allowing some rounding in the spine, we don't want to collapse into a cat shape, but continue to gently lengthen front body. Let's take one more deep breath here. Inhale, fill yourself up. Exhale, engage the belly, fold as deeply as you can. With the next inhale, lengthen the spine and come all the way up. Move the strap off to the side and slowly come to roll down onto your back. We'll extend the right leg onto the floor, and we'll hug the left leg in. So the same posture that we did standing on one foot, we're now doing lying down. Interlace the fingers around the front of the shin and draw that left knee towards the left armpit. And then tuck the shoulders underneath so they're hugging in towards the spine. Engage the right leg and spread the toes. Engage both feet and spread the toes. Take one more full breath here. And then soften the toes and the feet. And we'll take that left leg and cross it over the body for a twist. If you've got some props handy, you might use them underneath the leg for support. And then see if we can tuck that left shoulder under the body a little bit more. Let that left arm extend out to the side, either cactus shape or straight out. For ease of the neck, we can keep the base, back of the head on the ground. If you want to twist in the neck, pick the head up, turn the head to the left, and then place the head back down. Take a deep breath in. Let that inhale stretch you. And then engage the twist in the exhale. One more full breath. And if you have the head turned, pick it up and bring it back to center first. Engage the navel center and bring that knee back up, back over to the left armpit for one more squeeze in, and then extending the left leg down. We'll bring our right leg in, interlace around the shin, and draw the leg towards the right armpit now. Now we've got this, the back of the right arm is like a nice little shelf on the ground now for us. And once we've got that, tuck the shoulders underneath. So we're evening out the torso, the shoulders, the pelvis, and the spine, connecting those two places. Engage the left leg, engage both feet, and spread the toes on both feet. Big breath in, strong breath out. One more here. And take another inhale, and we'll soften our feet. As the exhale comes, we'll twist the right leg over. So again, adjust any props if you have them, and you'd like them underneath that right knee. Once we've got that leg over, you're gonna scoot the left shoulder over a bit, making room for the right side to come down. Extend through that right arm, and maybe we pick the head up and turn it to the right. Come back to your breath. Feel how that inhale stretches you from the inside. And then with the exhale, engage the twist. Deep breath in. Strong breath out. One more here. Engaging navel center to the spine. First, if you do have your head turned, be sure to pick that up, center your head first, and then from that strong belly center, come onto your back, and one little squeeze of that knee to the right armpit, and then lengthen out. Take an inhale and reach the arms up overhead. Find a full body stretch. Point through the ball mounds of the feet while the toes are spreading. And when you take an inhale, pull up from the front of your pelvis. And exhale. Soften a bit. One more inhale, stretch. And exhale, soften completely. Settling into Shavasana. Bring the arms back by the sides. Allow the legs to flop out. If there's any props or clothing you need to adjust, simply make that a part of the practice. Move slowly. And let yourself settle. Settle into stillness. Settle into the earth beneath you. The earth represented as our props, the flooring of our homes, the foundations, all earth element. Let your whole body plug in. Whole body. Whole body. Becoming aware of your physical body. Feel your whole body plugged into the earth. Now become aware of your breath. Begin to deepen your breath. And let your fingers and toes begin to stretch with the breath. Roll the ankles and the wrists. And slowly bring your hands onto your body, both hands resting anywhere on the torso that's comfortable. Soften the whole body. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Taking a moment to acknowledge our intention for this practice. To accept the things that we can and cannot control. And release the things we cannot control so we can experience the peace of earth. And then start to move in any way in the body that feels good for you. We'll eventually curl up into the fetal position. You can come to rest on either side. Use your bottom arm or a prop as a pillow. Resting on your side, take another cleansing breath. Pressing that top hand into the floor, slowly peel yourself up. Let the head be the last part to lift. Making our way into our seat, our connected, plugged in, tall seat. So whether that be on the floor, on a prop, or up on a piece of furniture, settle in.
We're going to go right into shamatha meditation today. Let your hands rest on the legs. Drop the arms by the sides, moving just the elbow joints. Find the placement of the hands. Lift up tall through the spine as the shoulders soften down with gravity. Let the teeth part, but the lips stay closed. Let the tongue rest in the bottom of the mouth. With the gaze anywhere from 6 inches to 2 feet in front of you, let the eyes settle on one point. Allow your attention to settle on the breath. Let the breath be your anchor for the present moment. Let your breath be the anchor for this meditation practice. Shamatha meditation, peaceful abiding. Whenever you notice the mind has wandered away from the breath, doesn't matter what the distraction is, or even how strong the distraction is. Become aware when it happens and gently guide yourself back to the breath. The breath, although in this practice we are not controlling it, there's no pranayama or specific breath movement that's happening. It's our spontaneous breath. But it's our number one resource and always that one thing we can anchor ourselves to reconnect us, to plug us back into the earth. It is the thing we can control within this world. And this practice is like a dedication, like an honoring to that breath. We simply give it our attention. And from that, we may experience moments of peaceful abiding. Take a deep breath in, fill yourself up, and gently release. Lower chin to chest. And slowly bring palms to center, Anjali Mudra. Take a moment and send yourself love and gratitude. Thank yourself for showing up for practice today, for showing up for yourself, for showing up for the good of the greater world. And then send love and gratitude out to the source of these practices, the yogis, the sages, the ancient ones who listened, who carried, who taught. May these practices, in their own way, bring each of us home. And for you, take everything from this class that serves you. Leave behind anything that does not. Release it. Let it go. And may the work that we started today continue on for your highest good and healing. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. If you have any questions about this practice, please reach out to me through comments, through my website, irenedarty.com. If you have it within your means to support this channel and to support me in offering teachings of various kinds, it is greatly appreciated. You can find all that information out in the description through my website, irenedarty.com. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful day.